Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Stressful day. Although that doesn't make it any better, it helps. Guy came to install the new intercom system because that's failed. The lady next door, I could see a sort of sad look on her face on the grounds that it's a shared facility, so we pay half each. Whereas my landlord's agreed to pay for my half, so it's cost me nothing, whereas it's cost them nearly 400 quid for their half. Expensive items, these things, and it should have been fixed by the guy who's just walked away from it. You know, it stopped working 3 or 4 months ago. He was supposed to get that fixed before he moved out, and he's just gone. No forwarding address, you know. I mean, I've got his phone number, but you can't go giving somebody else somebody's phone number without their permission, so. So, you know, it's fixed. Anyway, we have a new system, new code for the gate, which I shall promptly forget. I'll have to sort of write it on my hand or something. No, because we got to choose the code, 4-digit code, I got to choose it. The lady was out at the time next door, so I chose the code. She said, no, you choose, you know, so I did ask, did you want to choose the code, birthday or something like that? She said, no, you choose. And I'm aware that people who try and hack in on keypads nearly always start with a low number. So if you have the choice to always start with a high number and never have a straight line or a diagonal. They're the first things that people try to hack. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. 1066. Probably means nothing to most of my viewers. 1066 is an important date in this country. But yeah, so I mean, I chose a code that is random numbers and I'll remember the pattern it makes rather than the actual numbers on the keypad. So anyway, we've got no video on this one. That was far too expensive, so it's just sound. So basically, my food delivery's just arrived, so the first guy to try it out, the phone rings in the hall, you pick it up, hello, talk to people, and press the button on the phone, and the gate's open. And we've got something new that we didn't have before, because there's a second code on the gate that opens the big gates. They'll probably hardly ever get used, but because mainly you know, if you've come in from outside, you're on foot normally, yeah, so you want to come in the side gate, don't you? If you were coming in your car, you'd use the key fob and open the big gates and not get out of your car. So anyway, it's there if we need it, and it's all. The guy's been here since 9 o'clock this morning. He's really struggled, and I was getting quite worried because he got next door's working and he couldn't get my intercom working. He said, I've got no power here. It's as though there's a break in the cable or something. And he spent ages looking into it and this, that and the other. And it turned out that he'd cut a wrong wire. So basically, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, there's, you know, these intercom systems. I mean, there was about a dozen wires hanging out the back of this system. Well, he took the old system off. When he installed the old system, he'd have had a wiring diagram. So it would have said what each coloured wire was actually for. Well, he took the old system off, and he's got a new system to wire up to a set of wires with no instructions. So he's had to sort of feel his way through and try and find out which wire does what. He's been here ages. Anyway, it's all done now. That's good. Now, I should have watered my orchids yesterday. I didn't do them today. So tomorrow is a big watering day, and it is a big one too. I have to do everything. So be it. This happens. And they're late. But, you know, we haven't had warm weather. Temperatures are down. We've had dull days, we haven't had any sunshine, so we've got low light and short days. Nothing much is growing, so it's not a big deal. I may even find some pots are still wet when I go round tomorrow, or damp, you know, we shall see. But yeah, it's a bit of a stressful day, because at one point it looked like he was going to have to replace the cable from the gates to my phone in the hallway, and that's all, half of that's underground. You know, inducting and stuff. It would have meant digging up loads of cabling and everything. So pleased we didn't have to do that in the end. Yeah, so it's all done. Gates are now working, and people don't stand in the street wondering why they can't contact the people behind, the other side of the gates. We had to take the notice off because the notice gave false instructions. Say we've got a totally new keypad now, and basically it's just got one button. It's got 16B in a little thing like that, and the other house 16A, and they're lit up so you can see them in the dark, and they've just got one button next to it, and that's the intercom. So whereas before they had to key in more than that. They had to key in a number and a hash on the end of it to contact people. They've just got to press the button now. So we took down the instructions. It was a metal plate with everything like that. So that's been taken off. We don't need that anymore. And yes, so although this day has been a bit stressful trying to get all this work in, and with the thought of having to dig up the driveway to get at the cabling and everything, it's effectively been a lazy day. I've done next to nothing, so I think we'll make up for it tomorrow. And sorry about my rant, that was just spur of the moment, filming in the dark. Still, some people found it amusing, I'm sure. A few people got offended by it. That's par for the course. Did I care? Not one jot. Those are my opinions. You don't have to agree with them. But it seems like an awful lot of people did, and in quite a few different countries, have said it's the same there as well. I think some people misinterpreted what I said. I wasn't having a go at migration, proper, above board, with passports and visas and all the sort of normal things. I was having a go at those that arrive illegally, and I always will, because the burden on our country is absolutely massive, and it's not on. And basically these people are given instructions now, I've just found out. They're told to destroy any papers they've got, including their passport, before they arrive. So nobody knows which country they've come from. Nobody knows how old they are. They can even make up their name. So they could be fugitives, and we've got no way of tracing them back because they've destroyed their passports and the like. Those are probably forged anyway, come to think of it. Yes, so I was just thinking, have I got any new blooms to show you? I haven't actually. There's nothing new. Yes, there is. We have one. I will dig a new bloom out, so at least we've got some orchid, singular, to look at. And it's the one I got at Burnham's that didn't have any open buds. Those of you who saw the video clips of when I went to Burnham's know what it looks like, because I did film it as part of the display. But we will dig it out and have a look at the now open bloom. So there we go. An unnamed Miltoniopsis hybrid. And colours and patterning is quite stunning. Let's get the leaves out of the way. So that's the latest bloom that's opened. There's plenty more to come. I mean, in fact there's 4 spikes on this plant. It's highly likely to be 2 plants actually. You dig down in there. It's probably 2 plants with 2 bulbs on each. Well, 3 on one, 2 on the other. But nonetheless, our first bloom has opened. So very pleased with that. Nice colour, nice deep colour as well. Nice pattern as well. So yes, so that's the only new thing that's opened since we last looked. I mean, the other one that I've got has now got 4 blooms opened. But these are massive. Fragrance, as I picked that up as well. These are very large blooms, very large. Not colourful as such, but they're very fragrant. And again, it's simplistic, but nice splash pattern in the centre with a nice good deep yellow, and 2 little Mickey Mouse ears in purple. So that's the other one. Those two I got both of those at Burnham's on my last trip. So that was that. Ugh. Both of those will be in bloom sometime because they've still got buds to open. Yes, so that's what's going on. I have, what's the date now? We'll be doing everything in bud and bloom on the 8th, won't we? Now that's quite a long way off. One of my Paphiopedilums has got a bud pushing on, painfully slow as usual. That's their thing, that's what they do. And I've just noticed this little young plant here also has a bud. Well, you can see that. Well, that's a bud in there. I'm surprised at such a very young plant. So there's another bud following on behind. I'm going to have a good look now, see if there's any more. No, just that one. So we will have a new Paphiopedilum bloom to look at. Don't hold your breath. They don't do anything quickly, that's for sure. So yeah, there's a few things going over that have been in bloom, but yeah, that's all new stuff. The one Cymbidium that's got the spikes on, the spikes are now pushing on there, they're sort of this sort of size. I saw Ince's got quite a few spikes on his Cymbidiums. Not that he's got much room for them, but yeah. Yes, so that's what's going on. As I said, major watering day tomorrow. I'll just have to get up and get on with it and not plan on doing anything else tomorrow. Just get that done and get it out of the way. And then I've got the weekend to myself. For the first time in some considerable time, I haven't got anything going on this weekend. If I wasn't so late in watering, I'd split it over 2 days and do some on Saturday, but I need to get on with it. I'll do it all tomorrow and just have a massive watering session and get it done. I think it's a flush, I'm not sure, so it makes it a lot easier not having to mix stuff up. And I shall be using up the last of the RO water that I produced last time round, where I left the tap on too long and I ended up with quite a large amount left over from my containers. Well, I put it in a container and just use it a bit at a time. I mean, I'll have to change the diesel water again in a couple of days. Well, you know, what I don't use tomorrow will go into the trays as it does, uses up quite a bit. So there we go, that's all for today. It was just an update on what's been going on, and I now have no outstanding things left to do. Or yes, I do. I have one outstanding thing left to do. I've still got to get my medication sorted out, because when I go in to reorder the repeat prescriptions, one of them has been removed. Now, I've been into the surgery and said about it, and the lady wrote that prescription out on a form and said, I'll put this in and see if we can get it sorted. But the lady next door works at the surgery, so chatting to her about how well she knew the system, she said, phone in and use option 4 and you will get through to the prescriptions team, straight through. She said you might have to wait a while for them to answer, yeah, so it needs to be sorted or I'm going to run out, which obviously is not an option. I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's my only outstanding problem at the moment, I think. Nothing much else going on. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's starting to get dark now. It's coming up to tea time. Curry tonight. You all saw the video of me making it. Well, tonight I'm going to eat some of it because it's a simple meal. You know, they were portioned up in the freezer. I got a portion out of the freezer a while ago, into the microwave, and I eat it out of the container. Job done. Nice and simple, tasty, one of my enjoyable meals. So, and then we shall flake out in the chair. It's funny, I don't seem to have done much today, but I don't know, when you get a stressful day where you're worried, you know, I kept going out to see how he was doing. And unfortunately he drinks tea with milk in it, so I couldn't even make him a drink. Luckily the lady next door made him a couple. I don't have milk in the house, I drink black coffee. There's no need for me to ever have milk. When Hannah comes down, she drinks tea, she brings some of her own milk down, because she knows I haven't got any. So, yeah, but yeah. The day's over, it's starting to get dark, so it's can't be far off tea time, and I shall enjoy a lazy evening. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.